All right, guys, so I'm going to do a walk around for my 10,000 mile review first, and then we'll just ride the bike, and I'll just go through all the things I like about the bike and how it's performed in the 10,000 miles. So, as you can see, I got my buddy's bike here. That's his wife's CBR 500, and he's got his Street Glide, Harley Street Glide. I think it's a 2020, 19, not sure. But just want to talk real quick about this. I'll do a quick walk around of what I've done to the bike. This is a 10,000 mile review and the stuff I've put on the bike. So I put this on because the lens is, you can't replace just the lens on these lights, and they're very expensive. So everybody said, you better get that to protect it. So that's what I did. Aesthetically, I put this little extra beak on it, whatever. It's an expensive piece, but it's from BMW. I think you can pick up the Chinese ones for 25 bucks, but this is like $80 from BMW. Also, I did the Denali lights. Love these lights. Absolutely love them. The hardest part about putting these lights on is running the wires. Otherwise, it's plug and play. They also, real quick, we'll go to the back. I have the Denali brake light, which flashes when you put the brake on. It's really cool. Also, we did the SW Motec foot pegs. So much better, so much wider. I like these a lot. And they have a little bit of an angle this way. Also, I did the, this is just an Amazon Chinese piece of crap, but it's held up pretty good. The stock piece, if you can see it, it's just too short. And so I wanted to put something that would extend it out farther so I can hit the brake easier. So it's a nice little piece, and it's lasted. Also, the S&W Motec crash bars. And what I like about these bars, I can pop the valve cover off and do the valves when it's time to do the valves, besides protecting the engine. Quickly at the, I got, let's see if you can see these. These are the grip puppies. Love these things. And as you can see, I took off the hand guards because I'm going to go through 3 issues real quick of what I don't like about the bike. Don't like the hand guards. I think they're cheesy looking. And if you look at the Speedmaster, they're really nice. I mean, the Speedmaster, the Scrambler, they're really nice. And I kind of like the open look. I don't really take the bike off road in any brush or trees. So, and I don't really like the look of the brush guards. It makes it look too much like a dirt bike. What else? Let's see. The other issue, it's not an issue, just a pet peeve I have. I have no issues with the bike as I'm going to talk. I think that can is absolutely hideous. They could have put a better slip on from the factory. I guess they have to do it because of Euro 4, Euro 5, or whatever, the Euro blah, blah, blah emissions bullshit that they have over there. So I'm going to upgrade it. I think I'm going to go with the Miva because it's priced right and it looks really great in black. So that's the one I'm probably going to go with. And so that's the second issue. And the third issue is the noisy engine from this side when it's above 160 degrees. But the dealer and BMW assured there's nothing wrong. That's just the way they sound. So that's just the way it is. Also, I changed the shift lever. Way back. I said that this is a SW Motec. You drop it, it won't snap, and it's adjustable from here to here. And I like a lot of space between my foot peg and the shifter, so that worked out perfect. And it's a top quality piece. Also, so that's it. So I did the 3 issues I don't like. The first, the one with the noise. The muffler is, and I don't like hand guards. So otherwise, the bike has been great. I'm trying to think real quick. Put this bag on the back. This is by Nelson Rig because I like just, whatever. It's nice for little shopping. Put my lunch in it. It works great. So also I did it's a nice piece. Also I did the a little bag to put my registration and license, stuff like that, or just little knickknacks. And I guess that's it. And I don't like riding with the bags. I mean, as you can see, I have the bags over there. Don't like riding with them. So I like the sporty look. To me, it's whatchamacallit. I think I'm going to talk real quick about that. As I went over everything, as you can see, I didn't do a lot of things to this bike. I did change the windscreen to the larger GSA windscreen, but be honest with you, it didn't really do any much better. If not, there was a little bit different buffering or whatever. This is fine. I can definitely deal with it, and I like the minimalist look. So, when you look at a bike like this, all right, the looks are definitely subjective. And when I first saw the bike, I test rode one in blue and silver. I didn't like the color at all, but I was blown away by the performance of the bike. When I seen this one inside, when I went inside the showroom, and he had this one in the back. I said, man, I like this combination, and this is the one I went for. And when I look at a bike like this bike can do everything that bike can do and everything that bike can do, okay? But these two bikes cannot do everything this bike can do. This why, to me, this is a perfect bike. It's a great sporty bike. It handles just as good as this bike. Now, this is only a CB500, but it handles real good. It's my buddy's wife's. Doesn't have the power though. This one has a lot more power. But even even something in the 750 range or a 660 range, this bike can hold its own with all those bikes. Even a 1,000 bike. Granted, after 90, 100 miles an hour, that the 1,000cc bike is going to walk it. But this is absolutely great handling bike, and it's a great cruising bike. Now this is a great cruising bike, but it's only got 2.5 inches of travel for the rear suspension. This has, I think, 7. How can I not remember? It's got a good amount of travel, but you feel like you're riding in a luxury car. But yet when you want to hit the twisties, it's a sports car. Where this bike is a great cruiser, but that one bump you hit, it's bottoming out. So in my mind, this bike is a jack of all trades, and it does everything real well. It's a Swiss Army knife that does everything great. It does what that can do, it does what that can do, and it does what that can do. And how do you go wrong? If I had just one bike, this would be the bike. Yes, the looks are very subjective. Guys may not like it. It took me a while to get used to it. But when you get on the bike, I can't see what it looks like when I'm riding. Well, I can see a little bit of it, but I can't see the overall profile. I like this bike. And this is a keeper for me. Unless they ever come out with a 1300 with maybe 160 horsepower and electronic windscreen, something you can adjust with just a button, something major. I'm not trading up on this bike. So this bike here is just as good as that and just as good as that. To me, this is the ultimate touring bike because you can do everything with this bike. Everything you want to go, every place you want to go. If you have the skill level to go crazy off-road, you can do it. I don't have that skill level. I don't even have the skill level to push it to its maximum handling potential. Only thing I have a skill level for is just to nail it and hang on and not wreck. So, but all right, so let's go for a ride, and I'll talk more about why I think this bike is a good bike and the 10,000 mile review, and let you know that if any issues I've had, and so let's get riding.
All right, guys, here it is, my 10,000 mile review on a 2020 R1250GS. And from my walk around, you guys can see, or you guys can hear, how positive and how happy I am with this bike. This bike has 10,000 miles. It hasn't given me one issue of service as far as like dependability, breaking down or anything. No parts falling off, no loose, nothing. There was a recall on the brakes, and when I brought it in for its go ahead. When I brought it in for its, yeah, they play golf around here. When I brought it in for its for tires, I put the Michelin Anarchy 3s on them, which seemed to be working great. The dealer just recommended them. I really had I just wanted a more road biased tire and not no knobbies. I wanted it definitely to be go away from the off-road type tire. And they said, let's replace the brake calipers because there's a recall on them. But mine weren't leaking. But he says, I got them in stock, and let's just do it, So we did it. So that's the only issue you could say that if there was an issue with this bike. I have no starting problems. I know some people have had starting problems with this, stalling. You start up and it would just die. But I've had none of that. This bike has been absolutely flawless in dependability. Like I said, nothing falling off, everything, and the bike's been great. It's hard to find any. I guess you would call them negatives or something about the bike. I mean, I don't have any negative about the comfort, the ergonomics, the performance. My negatives have to do with obviously the sound, which I complain about a lot. After you get to 180 degrees and you're sitting at idle, it's just the engine has a lot of valve train noise or whatever the noise is coming from on the left side. As far as so that's just I don't know if that's an issue or it's just I think that's about the only thing that I would bitch about. Well, as you guys can see, I took off the hand guards because the hand guards, I don't like the way they look. I think they're kind of cheesy looking, and I'm not a big handguard person. I don't really like that. Then, as you could tell, there's no bags on it because I like that smooth look. I'm more of a sporty guy. Like, I've already called this my sport bike. And then the third thing would be the slip-on, the muffler. It's too big. It's just too gaudy looking. It's, I guess, because of Euro 5 crap or Euro 4 crap or whatever that emissions over in freaking Europe is. That bullshit. That looks like crap as far as I'm concerned. I think I might upgrade to Amiva, but you guys heard that in my walk around. So those are the only three things. Otherwise, I think the bike has just been super. It rides good. The ride hasn't degraded in any way, shape, or form. The performance is super. The maintenance on it. I know some people say, "Oh, it's expensive to maintain these bikes." Well, I maintain them myself. I don't find them expensive at all. I don't have to go to the dealer. Granted, I did with the 500-mile or 600-mile service. I went back to the dealer, but that's it. That was the last time I went to the dealer. I changed the oil. My next one will be oil and valves, and that's it. Oils and valves, I can do that myself. The valve job is nothing. But for me, it's easy. I mean, for some it might not be as easy. But so the maintenance cost on this bike is low. I never brought this up, but as the insurance is too. The insurance on this bike, now granted I have a bunch of bikes now, but the insurance on this bike, when I got this bike, let's see, my Speedmaster was very cheap, so I'm going to go American dollars, of course. Was only $180 for the year, full coverage, and this only added another $120 to my policy. It's a $20,000 bike, or 22, whatever. I mean, I paid a lot less than that, but the value of the bike. So it's I don't consider it. It's an expensive bike, yeah, and they call it an old man's bike because old men can afford it more than younger. But it doesn't ride it rides nice, but it doesn't handle like an old man's bike. I mean, it handles really good. It'll do wheelies if you want. You can take it off road if you want. So I don't consider it. And when I'm a YouTube junkie, so when I watch this young lady called a user named Kate, she had a 790 Duke, I believe, Super Duke, as her regular bike, and she got a great deal on a 1200 because she works for a BMW dealer, and she does have some nice videos, and she's got a nice channel, and she got this black one, I guess black on black, and she absolutely adores the bike. Now she's young. Where's that? And she thinks that the bike is just so I don't really get that deal with the old man's bike deal. But, I guess it's just, like I said, it's an opinion. I guess I always say that, just your opinion. But I think it does it all. To me, the only thing that it's missing to make it a high-powered naked bike is maybe another 30 horsepower. But to 0 to 100, it can hold its own on most bikes. Then the other bikes take off. But it does it all, though. I mean, you can go off-road if you want, like I said in the video. I mean, this is a great touring bike. It's a great cruising bike. It's a great hooligan bike. It does it all. So if you need one bike, pick up one used. You can't go wrong. Even the 1200s. They're just great bikes. They ride so nice. They're so comfortable. Yeah, the looks are a little different. Maybe some people don't like the looks, and all we buy everything is because of looks. I'll grant it. And when I went for this bike, I didn't go for the looks. In fact, I tested the blue and silver one, and I didn't like the look at all, that combination. But when I rode it, I said, wow, this bike is it all. And then he had one in the showroom with a leftover, with a demo model. I said, that black one is I said, yep, with the gold wheels. I said, I'll take it. And that's what I went with. And I've been happy. And I wish I could give you a negative about the bike. I haven't found a negative. I know some guys will, that are, I guess, unicoms as cars, YouTubers and test riders, and they can do it all. They can do wheelies for 300 feet or whatever. Those experts might find issues with the bike because they can push the bike to its limits, where this bike, I can't push this bike to a limit. So as far as my limitations are concerned, as far as what the bike can do for me, it does it all. I can't push it to those limits. I don't have the skill level for that. So that's why I think, this is just, how my reviews are. They're not orchestrated. I mean, I always go off to tangents and stuff like that. It's just what I feel. And this bike is perfect for the average dude with average skill. And it's actually perfect for a guy with good skill. I consider myself average skill. Yeah, I've done stupid things. I've got it up to 135. I've done some stupid maneuvers with it. But I don't consider myself a a test rider, like, with these reviews, these guys have, tons of miles on all different bikes. I'm not even close to being something like that. But this bike does it all, and I don't have any issues with it. There are people, oh, you wait till you have to repair it. Well, I've got over a year now, almost 10,000 miles, and I don't have any issues with the bike. And I do everything myself anyway, so it's not a big deal. I can replace an electronic component. What's so hard about that? As long as I have the devices to do the diagnostic, then I'm fine. I'm not worried about that. People beat themselves up. I don't know if I can do it. You can do it. It's not that hard working on cars. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I learned. I'm self-taught. I can do everything I need to do. So the bike has been absolutely perfect. No issues. It's a bike that's well, this road's still not open. I'm just going to go this way. I went by my buddy's house. Thought he'd be working on his race car, but he wasn't. So, but I did tell him I was coming. So, but yeah, it's. Let me just check one thing. I've had a problem with my recording, guys, and I just want to make sure it's working. Yeah, still going. And the bike is just super. It's just a super bike. And if you can afford it and you want an all-around bike that does it all, this is it. Now, granted, I'm fortunate to buy different bikes because I do love my Speedmaster, because I love that look, that soft tail type of look, that the nostalgia look. But this is my go-to bike when I really want to just be comfortable and sporty and hooligan and just go for long rides without beating my back up, but then just nail it and and just twist that throttle and just have a ball with it. Wind protection, I think we've talked about that. It's totally fine with my, for me. I know some guys like a little bit more wind protection, when they're cruising, but this is absolutely fine. And like a day like this, you don't want any more wind protection than you got, because it's hot. It's 90 right now, and I get enough airflow and everything. I'm wearing my jacket, and sometimes I don't, but whatever. So, but yeah, you guys will be happy with this bike. The only thing I could see why some people might not buy the bike is because of styling. The way it looks like an overgrown dirt bike, or on steroids or stuff like that. But like I said, looks are subjective. If you want a good tool, a good Swiss Army knife, then you can go wrong with you can't go wrong with this bike. The quick shifter works perfectly. It's a little, in first gear it jumps a little bit, because I think that's because of the gearing, and I've talked about that in the past. But I mean, I can downshift, upshift, it's fine. I don't think I've ever missed a gear with this. Now, the one that I put on my Scrambler and my Triumph, if you don't have it adjusted perfectly, you can get some false neutrals. But this has been flawless. So, I'm trying to think of something negative, and I just can't think of negative with the bike. The way the muffler looks, that's a negative. I'm going to change that. Hopefully, I won't give up the quietness on the as far as cruising, but on the highway. But I don't like the way it looks, and I don't like the hand guards. I finally took them off. I thought they were kind of chintzy. I mean, you look at the bikes for sale. You look at the Scrambler, and it has beautiful hand guards. Not that I like them. I don't like that look. And then also, I guess the noise I always complain about, but they say it's fine, and I don't hear it when I'm riding. I just hear it when I'm sitting at a light, after it's warmed up. So yeah, think of a negative, Ken, because people are going to say you're just a fanboy, which I absolutely am. Another reason I like this bike so much is because of the weight. Now, a heavy cruiser, they cruise nice, and like I said, in that walk around, they're fine. But man, that Harley Davidson has 2.5 inches of 2.5 inches of suspension travel, and it's fine when the roads are nice. But you hit that big bump, she bottoms out, and it goes right through your spine. I have yet to have this bike do anything close to that. So to me, that's why I consider this the ultimate cruiser. It's got a short wheelbase. It fits in my trailer, because all trailers can't be no wider than 108 inches in the U.S. I don't know what it's like in other countries. Otherwise, you have to have a permit to go on the highway. So this thing fits. I can go in through the side door of my trailer and fit it in the sideways and it fits no problem. I can't do that with a Harley Davidson. My brother's Indian. I can't do it. That's a 1,000-pound bike. This bike weighs 550 pounds, and I'm checking this, guys, again, I'm sorry. I don't consider this heavy at all. The weight's low because of the cylinders, because it's a Boxer engine, and I don't consider this a heavy bike at all. In fact, comparing this to the Scrambler feels heavier because obviously the engine, the way the engine is, the design of the engine. But it's an easy, 60 pounds lighter, but it doesn't feel it. This bike feels light, feels maneuverable. It feels like a sport bike to me. I've been on my buddy's Gixxer before he sold it, 600. And I found that bike very maneuverable, but not in tight turns because it had a very poor turning radius. But it was very flickable. I didn't find I give anything up on this bike. So that's why I'm trying hard to find a negative. Guys, put something in the comments. Tell me what negative about this bike. It doesn't cost me money to operate. It hasn't broken down. They're going to say, wait till that big thing breaks. Well, I guess that could happen. Yeah, that's very possible. But I haven't gotten it yet. So just give me a comment, a negative on the bike. The looks are subjective. As long as it does everything it's supposed to do that you want it to do, it's a good bike. Like now, I only can see the outside of the bike. I can only see like I'm inside a car, and everything looks great. I love the dash. To me, that dash is the best in the industry. Now, Ducati makes a great dash, and so does Aprilia. But this I think is the best, and I'm definitely looking at getting an Italian bike, but I want something more lighter and, like a 400-pound bike just so I can just shoot around like my Kawasaki, but with a little bit more modern technology. So I'll be looking at maybe a Monster or a Aprilia 660 Tuono, though. I don't want a RS. I don't want to lean over. I want more of a straight-up feel and a not as a stiff ride. So, but yeah, I think that the dash is great. And like I said, I'm trying to look for a negative. I know some people complain about road noise coming up from because it's all open here, and I don't really find the road noise bad at all. I mean, it's no more louder than any other bike. No more louder. It's no louder than any other bike that I have. So I don't find it a major issue. Oh, we got some nice turns coming up. Yeah, this is the area where I did that crazy little music. Whatchamacallit? Let's see. Break 100 at least once or twice, and I just don't like. That's what I mean. It's like it's my sport bike there. You go into a turn with the Speedmaster, I'm a little tentative, but with this, I'm only doing 60, but you don't really. I can be going through this turn at 90 with no problem. And so, like I said, guys, give me a negative on the bike so I can feel like I'm honest, that I'm not being such a fanboy, that I'm just because I bought this because I own this bike, I'm not gonna say anything bad about the bike. I said the noise. I don't like the noise of an idle. I think BMW really missed the mark on that. So but it's no, they're out. This is the area where they're out all the time. So I really think they missed the mark on it. That didn't look like a happy fellow, but we all can't be happy. I'm riding. I'm happy. So. Let's see, yeah, and like I said, I talked about those other bikes in the garage. Yeah, this bike does the same thing that the CBR 500 will do, except it's got more power. It does the same thing that Harley can do, but those two bikes can't do what this bike can do, and you can take it off-road. I mean, it's a moot point for me, but like I said, this bike is a jack of all trades, but a master of all trades too. The only thing this gives up is the power of a Multistrada or a KTM. That to me is the only downfall of the bike. If you want to compare outright performance, handling, I'm sure they'd be the same. But then the maintenance is much better on this. And if you like going off road, you're on top of that chain all the time. There's no chain. It's so easy to change the diff oil and lube the spline. It's a piece of cake. I know some people don't, will worry about that, but it's not hard at all, folks. Oh, it's so fun. I love this bike. So yeah, it's not hard at all to work on these bikes. I always tell people you need to teach yourself in case you have an issue going on the road. At least you have an idea what's going on. What else? I had some trouble with my recording device, so I do have some other thoughts, and then the voice cut out, so maybe I'll throw that in and I'll mix it. So if I go all over the place, guys, it's because I'm mixing it in. And I keep checking to see if the mic is working. I got to fix this. I'm going to buy a new camera, and it's the new 360 cameras have an adapter for a mic, so I can plug my mic in, run it up to my helmet, and I don't have to do any syncing with the sound and worrying about if it's working or not. So. Yes, sirree. So what else? All right, guys, that's it. I love the bike. I'm the fanboy, and if they come out with a 1300 with 175 horsepower, I'd probably trade this in. Otherwise, this is a keeper for a while. If I can think of anything else to say, I'll splice it back in. Not sure where I'm going. I know where I'm going. I've been here so many times. I just always say that. Trying to think if I forgot anything. What have I forgot? Oh, I put a K&N filter in this thing. That's the only performance upgrade, and that was a piece of cake to put on. All of my other bikes, I got to work on and do something for performance. This bike, I don't do nothing. And from what I read, oh, this is, should I or shouldn't I? Nah, I don't know. We're not going to do it. From what I read, these bikes do not really pick up a lot of performance with a complete exhaust system, like a header gets rid of the cat and a tune. It's very minimal. So it seems like, now this one company claims it's not, but they've kind of been debunked. But, it's all on internet stuff, so you don't know who to believe. But I'm just thinking that they got the most out of this bike. The Germans are pretty good at getting the most out of a particular engine combination, and I think they've done it with this. So I really don't want to, invest anything for performance, because the performance is really good. I wish I did have another 30 horsepower so I can run with my buddy's Ducati. His Diablo is just absolutely blistering fast after 100, and it'd be nice to have that kind of performance, like the KTM and the Multistrada. But I don't like the Multistrada and KTM for its ride quality. I'm not saying it's really bad, but I think they are more sporty. The Multistrada seat, the older one, had me pull forward, and I didn't like that. That's why I didn't even take it for a ride, because I just didn't like the seating position. I loved the color combination. It was a red trellis frame with the gray and dark gray accents. I loved it, but I didn't go for it. And the KTM, I just didn't get a chance to test ride it, but I do like the KTM. But I just like the overall suspension with the lever suspension, where you have no nosedive when you hit the brakes because they're linked, plus the type of suspension it is. So, yeah, folks, 10,000 mile review again. I know I keep repeating myself. The bike is excellent. 2 thumbs up, just like the guy from, Nothing to Prove? 2 thumbs up to BMW. You hit the nail on the head. This bike is excellent. You can't go wrong. Andrew, you cannot go wrong with this bike. I would choose this over the RT. The RT is a nice bike, but and it's got more wind protection, but that's it. You have a lean forward position a little bit more than this. I don't think it's as comfortable on the highway. Go to that video of The Long Way Home. He does an excellent comparison. He says everything I thought about this bike. I think this is the better touring bike. The only thing you're giving up is you have a little bit more wind protection, but on a 90-degree day, and you're from Australia, you might want a little bit more wind. As far as the looks are concerned, it looks okay. It looks pretty good. It's too bulbous in the front for me. It looks like it's a sport bike on steroids. Not that this looks like a sport. This looks like a dirt bike on steroids. So I know that's subjective. It's heavier and with the same engine horsepower, so you're going to get a little bit less performance but it is a good highway cruiser. But I think this one is better. And it's, you know, and being heavier, I feel, being lighter, I feel it's more of a nimble bike, you know. So Andrew, that's up to you. But if you were taking my advice, I would get the R1250GS over the RT. But okay, just my opinion. But I don't want you to do something that you might not want to do. I think you were saying you were looking at the KTM. KTM is really fast, but I think it's just it's more of a sportier ride than all-around ride. But I mean, I could be wrong with that. Well, maybe we're just joking with the KTM, but I don't think you can go wrong with any of these bikes. The only ones I don't really like are the Japanese. The African Twin doesn't do it for me. I had a gentleman just stop at a light and just totally berate this bike and said, man, I would never buy a BMW again. I love this thing. This thing just gives me no trouble. I had nothing but trouble with it. But, you know, I don't have that. I'm not having that issue at all. So he's... But I don't really like the way the African Twin looks, and I don't like the way it sounds. Oh, 56. Oh, that was nice. That was a 56 Crown Vic Ford. Yeah, so I think you can't go wrong with this bike, Andrew, especially if you can get it at a good deal. The GSA I'm not a big fan of because the tank is too big. In fact, I put the GSA windscreen. It didn't even really do anything. So I put this back on because I like the minimalist look, you know. And I know I'm repeating myself, guys, but it's been a great bike, and I hope I get another 10,000 of trouble-free miles. And if I don't, I promise you guys, if I have an issue, I'll tell you guys about it. Like I told you about the noise, I will definitely tell you about it. So with that, deep in the pinelands of New Jersey, and folks, I'm out of here. I hope you enjoyed the review. I know I was all over the place like I always am, because I just kind of say what's on my mind. Nothing is scripted, and so it may sound incoherent at times, but thanks for stopping in. And I don't know what my next video is going to be, but hopefully it'll be with my new camera. All right, later guys. I'll talk to you soon.